I had a boyfriend in college point out to me how frequently I called myself stupid. It was not something that I was aware of. I didn't know I was doing it, but I often said that I was stupid or being stupid for some reason or another. So much so that he pointed it out and asked me, like, why are you calling yourself stupid? Because you're not. And once he pointed it out to me, I started to notice it, and the people pleaser in me at the time started to change my language around him. Instead of saying stupid, I would say, I'm so silly, and I would start to change my language. But what was really interesting, as I started to change my language, I started to change how I viewed myself. I no longer was thinking that I was stupid because I stopped saying that out loud. I'm Jess DeBose, and I am your ADHD coach, and today I want to talk about the power of your language. Because I have spoken to hundreds of ADHDers, and I see how hard you guys are on yourselves. You all are incredibly hard on yourselves. And there's a few things that you can do, a few tricks to help you be kinder to yourself. And one of the ways that I want to talk to you about that today is the word should. When you think of that word should, it feels heavy. It feels like an obligation. It feels like a burden. It feels like just really gross and heavy. I should go do my laundry. I should do my taxes. I should send somebody this invoice. I should. And there's a lot of heaviness and burdensome to it. And if you're anything like any of the other ADHDers I talk to on a regular basis, this happens constantly. There's constantly this dialogue, whether it's out loud or inside your head, of I should. Now, the other interesting thing about should is not only does it feel heavy and obligatory, but it also, the underlying thing that's happening right there is making yourself wrong or bad for doing the thing that you're currently doing. And there's nothing wrong with you scrolling through TikTok. There's nothing wrong with you watching YouTube videos. There's nothing wrong with you listening to music, doing a passion project, creating something new, watching TV. Whatever it is that you're doing, there's nothing wrong or bad innately about those things at all. And yet, you continue to make yourself wrong and bad by using this word should, because you're giving your power away to this word and to society and to your family or whoever started that dialogue of should in your brain in the first place. You're giving your power away to those things. So there are a couple words you can use to replace the word should. For the past tense, you can use I could have instead of I should have done that thing yesterday. I could have done that thing yesterday. Now, what happens in your body when you say that? I could have. Well, first of all, it takes back your power and your choice in the matter. I could have done something differently. I chose not to. That doesn't inherently make it bad or wrong. It just means you could have made a different choice. In the present or future, you can say I get to instead of I should. Because again, what happens in your body when you say I get to? I get to. When you say I get to, people say things like I get to go on vacation. I get to go do this huge thing I'm really excited about this summer. I get to. There's excitement, there's choice, there's power. Again, you're giving yourself that power of choice and agency when you're using that type of language instead of should. I get to. So I get to go do the laundry. I get to do my taxes. I get to send out that invoice. And when you say the word I get to, it also can remind you of the why you're doing it in the first place, right? Doing dishes is probably not fun. Maybe for some of you it is. It is not for me. I do not like doing dishes. It is one of my least favorite things to do. However, I like the result of clean dishes. When I wash dishes, I have clean dishes that I get to use. And I like having a clean kitchen. So I get to wash my dishes reminds me of the why I want to do it in the first place. And it's not an obligation. I don't have to do the dishes, yet I'm choosing to because I want the result in it. So you might be saying, okay, Jess, I've heard this before. Changing my language, I understand that there's power in my words. Amazing, beautiful. The piece that is really important in implementing something like this is, one, knowing that it takes a lot of practice. It's not going to happen overnight. You've been shitting yourself to death for 15 plus years, probably. And shifting that practice, when we're creating new ways of being and doing things, it's like clearing a new path in the woods. So you might have gone on some hikes or trails where the path is already created. It's clear, there's no brush in the way, it's easy to go on this hike because the path is clear. But if you've ever tried to go hiking on a path that wasn't clear, there was no path and you're creating it yourself, it is really hard at first because you have to make the path. You have to clear away the brush and the thicket and the thorns and the trees and the whatever is in the way on this path. You have to make a new path because it doesn't exist yet. And that's exactly what happens when we're doing something new. So implementing something like changing your words from should to I get to is going to take some practice and some time. But over time, if you use this trail over and over and over again, you'll eventually have a clearer and easier path. And that's the same thing with practicing something just like this. So be kind to yourself and be patient as you're choosing to change your language. The other thing that can be really helpful when implementing something like this is telling somebody else in your life about it. Tell somebody who loves you and cares about you and wants to help remind you about the thing that you said that you're wanting to do, so that it's a helpful reminder. It is not a judgment or shame or guilt when you fuck it up, because you will fuck it up and that's okay. This is just a beautiful mirror reflection to notice when you're doing it. Like I mentioned in my first story, I did not even know that I was calling myself stupid until my boyfriend at the time told me I was. So when I was around him, I started to hear it more. And again, if you say this to another person that you love, they're going, not only are they going to notice, but you're going to notice simply because you told them. I want to change my language. I want to take the word should out of my vocabulary and I want to use the word I get to instead. Beautiful. And then when that person or you hear it as it comes up and you're like, I get to, you can just edit yourself while you're talking when you notice it. And at first you might notice after, that's okay. Again, as you keep practicing, you'll notice in the middle of the sentence and you can change it right there. That's the beautiful thing. I edit myself all the time. When I'm learning new things, I edit myself all the time. There's something really powerful in that too, because again, you're creating that new pathway. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go on this old path of I should, like, nope, I get to. Okay, clearing the new path. Amazing, beautiful. So, you beautiful ADHDer, I love you. And I want to support you in your journey to learning to be kind to yourself. This is something that I help my clients with often. So if you are looking for a coach or a program with coaching and need some support implementing this or other things that you're looking to change in your world, please message me. The best way to get in contact with me is on Instagram at Coaching with Jess. And my DMs are always open. I have one-to-one clients and I have some group programs and stuff as well. You can check out my website, www.jessdebose.com. I'm looking forward to hearing how the power of words is shifting in your life and allowing you to be more confident and take back your own power. I love you, you magical ADHDer.